Hey, I see there are some people online. Just letting you know we're going to get started here in about 5 minutes, but enjoy the birds until then. Welcome. Good morning, and welcome to Coffee with the Birds this morning. My name is Curtis Dykstra, Parks Naturalist and Program Supervisor with Ottawa County Parks. And a special welcome to you in person here who traversed through the snow to get here. We do actually have a full room here. I was wondering if we'd get full here this morning because of the weather, but and a welcome to all of you online as well. And I'll be monitoring the chat from time to time, so if there's any issues or questions, you can put them on there. Let us know if you can hear us okay, if you're seeing things okay. But of course, put in your bird questions and stories, things you want to share, and I will do my best to get to all of those comments. So thank you so much for joining us this morning. Can you put it on the computer screen, or at least one of the screens? There we go. And come on, let's go. There we go. That's not what I'm looking for. Is it? There we go. Welcome to Coffee with the Birds. So today, starting now, we have a feeder watching session. We are in person and we are also live streaming on YouTube. So just know that in the audience here. You are not on a camera. I'm the only one that gets to have the camera in my face. But maybe we'll turn it on you sometime. But we do have a room full of people here. So we'll be in person and live stream until about 10:30, 10:25. And then I'll be doing a Tidbit presentation at 10:30 where we have a photo contest winners stories video. Those of you online will give you the link so that you can watch the video. We will not be doing that as a live stream today. Then at 11:10, those of you in person, or if you're watching online and want to join us and you're not too far away, you can join us again for another bird feeder watching session number 2. So some people come a little later and join us for that. We've got a red-bellied woodpecker out there somewhere. I hear somebody saying red. Okay. Oh, and the hairy woodpecker is right here on number 5. So why don't you flip it to the pictures there. So I will explain a little bit about what Coffee with the Birds is while you're watching the birds. We've got a hairy woodpecker on the suet feeder there, and birds coming and going from the other feeders as well. Juncos, cardinals.
There's a mourning dove hiding behind number 4.
Behind number 4, there's a mourning dove.
He's under the crossbar.
Oh, I see. Way up in the tree. There is a mourning dove way up in the tree up there. There's a goldfinch.
Right down low.
Oh, down low.
Your cross hanger.
Under the cross.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He's well camouflaged.
He's well camouflaged. Oh, I see it now. I see it right in line with the woodpecker tree. And then there's another one up a little higher there too. Downy woodpecker on number 5 now. Goldfinch, chickadees, nuthatches, house finch. So a good number of bird activity. But what is Coffee with the Birds? For those of you who are not familiar with the program, it's an informal time to enjoy coffee, pastries, birds, and community. Oh, and look at the talent there of Rick, the cameraman. Shout out to Rick here. He's got the mourning dove. So those of you online can get it on your Coffee with the Birds checklist, right? But we're going to do feeder identification here, birds at the feeders. I can field questions. I'd love to hear your stories, your bird sightings. Then we'll be doing a birding tidbit presentation. But I want to thank our sponsors too. And this morning, Kestrel Imagery, that's Rick VELDMAN over here. He is our cameraman. Without Rick's expertise and camera equipment, we could not be live streaming to all of you online. And we now can have this for perpetuity. You can go back and watch this feeder session yourselves later on. If you want to share it with a friend, a family member, you can do that. So thank you very much for your time, Rick. The Washtenaw Islands Audubon Society has donated money to help with the feeder, with feeding the birds. DeBrine Seed Company has donated prizes to give away, door prizes, feeders and seed. And we also get our seed from DeBrine. So if you go to DeBrine's, make sure to let them know, thank you, that you appreciate their sponsorship of this program. The Friends of Ottawa County Parks offers free hot drinks other than coffee. So if you like cider or hot chocolate, that's available here. And we have a new sponsor, and that's Madcap Coffee. It was getting too much for Simpatico to continue sponsoring, and so we have another sponsor, Madcap Coffee. We have a connection to some of our staff here, and they were willing to give us coffee. So thank you, Madcap Coffee, and I hope that you like it. Let us know what you think of the coffee, and let them know that you appreciate their sponsorship of the program. So you can put it back on the birds there, because it is time to watch the birds at the feeder, as we've been doing kind of off and on here. There is a song sparrow down on the ground left of number 8. So if you haven't seen the song sparrow yet, oh, and Rick's got it on the screen there. Yep. I've seen up to 3 song sparrows at the feeders this winter, which is quite interesting. I mean, usually we'll see one periodically. I've been seeing 2 regularly, and then recently a 3rd. So it's almost every day that I come out here and I see the song sparrows. I think they're wintering in the river. They like that the edge of the river for winter. Now that they're starting to winter here more regularly, we're getting them more regularly at our feeders. Oh, something startled them. We got a pine siskin on 4. Pine siskin on 4. Oh, it is on the left side of number 4, top left of number 4. You can see the streaky breast. Thank you, Alex. It was Jess. Credit where credit is due. So those of you online, you can see its head sticking out from behind. But it is the top left bird. Hopefully it comes around the front of the feeder. We've been having one pine siskin hang out with these goldfinches. Yesterday was the first day that I'd seen it in the new year. So I'm glad, and that made me hopeful that we'd see it today. This is one of the only pine siskins around, so those of you who are here and keeping track of your year list now can add that. That's a good bird. There aren't very many of them around this year. Anybody else been seeing pine siskins? You have? Okay, and you have too. Okay, great. Let's see. We've got some comments here online. Good morning from Western Park Township. Lots of snow here. This is Whippoorwill. I know that's Carl and Judy Manning. And the turkey flock of over 20 there. And in a moment, we'll address the second part of their statement there. Caleb Holzman, good morning and hello from Ken and Caleb at DeBrines. DeBrines is online. Thank you for joining us online, Ken and Caleb. Go a round of applause for, yes.
I love the feeder I won.
That's Cindy. She won last month's feeder, and so she's saying thank you. And Pam is saying all my birds flew away, so thinking the neighborhood Cooper's hawk may be about, yes. And she is joining us from Fremont. Pam and Carl and Judy both mentioned taking a moment of silence for the victims of the fires out west. The victims are, of course, humans that have lost so much out there, and so much wildlife also has lost so much habitat. So let's just take a moment and of silence for the victims of the fires out west. Okay. Thank you for doing that. What's that? Do I have a spare binocular? Out here, I've got binoculars. Do you want a pair? Could somebody grab a pair of binoculars for Rick up here? They're on it. Oh, I see some mourning doves up there. Yep, I see 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, a bunch of mourning doves way up high there. You might be looking at something different too, Rick. Let me know of what you see. Oh, and welcome to Amy from Coopersville. So thank you for joining Coffee with the Birds. And we've got a titmouse
Number 4.
above number 4. Oh, there it comes in. And at number 1, coming, grabbing, and going. And the red-bellied's on number 5 here right in front of us. He's on the back side, of course. Oh, there he flew off up to the snow-covered branch. So lots of activity at the feeders. Blue jay on the ground over here. Have we had tree sparrow, right? No. We have not. The tree sparrows have been abundant out here recently, so keep an eye out for them to show up as well. Any questions, comments, stories, things that our audience wants to share? Go ahead.
Yeah, we live out in Fenville, and on January 4, we were driving out that way, and we saw like 4 dozen sandhill cranes in a field. And I was wondering what you think about that. If you thought it was like a young flock that was confused, or if the nicer weather last month is throwing them off.
Yeah. So the question is, and I'm going to repeat questions so that everybody online can hear. That some sandhill cranes were seen down by Fenville in Allegan County recently. And the question is basically why? What is causing them to be around? Are they confused? Are they responding to the warmer weather? And I would say it's probably B. It's responding to the warmer weather. There have been more reports of sandhill cranes sticking around all winter long over the last few years. And in particular at the Allegan State Game Area and the lower Kalamazoo River. I've seen reports from down there. So that's probably what it is. They'll go out into fields and feed during the day, and then they'll go back to their wetland roosts at night. So that's probably what it is. The further north that they can overwinter means the closer they are to their breeding grounds, and the sooner they can get there and get their prime territory. So I do believe as temperatures are warming and our winters are changing, more and more birds are overwintering. Like the song sparrows that we saw here, they've become much more common over the last few years. Sandhill cranes as well. So, yeah, good question though. Go ahead.
Bluebirds, we have flocks of them in our backyard.
Oh,
Whole trees are full
oh wow.
of bluebirds. In Holland, in Timberline Acres.
Okay.
Now, our backyard is wooded,
Mm-hmm.
but I've never seen so many. And we do put out mealworm spots.
Oh, so okay, there you go. How many would you estimate are you seeing?
Oh, gosh, Dave, how many would you say?
50 to 20.
Wow. Okay. Yeah. Usually in the winter, so a lot of people don't realize, but bluebirds do. Oh, and there is a tree sparrow now underneath number 8 on the ground. And I think we're going to probably see a lot of them, but there's the first one, right? There we go. There's the tree sparrow. So bluebirds, it's not real well known that they do overwinter regularly, but that's probably becoming more regular, that more bluebirds are overwintering, again, for the same reasons as the temperatures have been increasing. They change behavior in the winter, and they're not always in their same habitat. They might go to wooded areas along creeks where there's abundant berries, because they'll eat a lot of berries in the wintertime. Or if you're offering mealworms like you said you are, they'll eat mealworms too.
And
So,
fresh waxworms.
oh, so yes.
Right from the bait store.
So as long as you're offering that, and they're coming in to eat them then too, aren't they? They're coming in to eat those then from you. Oh yeah. See, and that they're telling their friends, hey. Sounds like you got a good setup there. 15 to 20 bluebirds visiting Holland, a home in Holland, but they're feeding mealworms and waxworms. So yes, but they do overwinter. They're usually more localized, and you got to kind of know where to find them. They're not as widespread during the winter. So, but they are here. I saw some the other day, or was it? It was earlier this week, right here at Hemlock Crossing, on the edge of the meadow over here. So, great. What else do we have out there? Not much right now. What is going on? Oh, here come the.
Something spooked him.
Yeah. Okay. So now, if you don't have the view I do, but I can look straight up here, and there's a bunch of birds up there, and they're probably all goldfinches. And the way they do that, they go to the top of the tree, and then they slowly make their way down. And then you'll see one at the feeder, and then 2, and then 6, and then 8. You know, they'll all start to drop in. There's more tree sparrows underneath number 4. There's 3 of them there. Titmouse on 1, along with a goldfinch. Chickadee over left of 7. We'll call that one number 6, right? Doesn't have a number on it, we'll call it number 6. And that is our dried mealworms. So that is the same. You have dried mealworms and waxworms, you said?
Dry mealworms and fresh waxworms.
Fresh waxworms, yep. So the little chickadees especially love the mealworms here. I thought maybe we'd get bluebirds, but we haven't gotten them back here. So here come the goldfinches on number 4. We've got a good number of them. For some reason, they really like number 4, and less so, they like number 3. They're essentially the same except for the size of the feeder. But if you want to put it on number 4 there, Rick, there's getting to be a good flock of goldfinches on number 4. And maybe that pine siskin will come back.
Seems like the goldfinches have more gold left on them this year. Or am I just...
I have noticed some with bright yellow patches and things, which is a little unusual for this time of the year. I'm not sure why though, but I have actually noticed the same thing. So it's interesting you mentioned that. See how golden they are. But there are some, and look at all the tree sparrows on the ground here. See, I mentioned them, and then they come. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We got at least a dozen of them out there. Mourning dove has descended. Oh, there it flies back on beyond and up. The red-bellied is up on the... Oh, you got it. Rick, you beat me. Rick, you beat me. There's the red-bellied woodpecker. Rick is so on it that he beat me to the red-bellied woodpecker. Above 7, there's the chickadee. I haven't seen a white-breasted nuthatch myself. I heard some... There have been 2 of them. But yeah, others have been seeing white-breasted nuthatch. We're not... Oh, there's the red-bellied on the ground now. Oh, it flew off. We've not been seeing red-bellied, red-breasted nuthatch, which is the 2nd year in a row that we haven't had them at the feeders. I'm a little disappointed. I know they're around locally, but they just aren't coming into the feeders, and I'm not sure if it's because they've got abundant food out in the woods or what. Oh, and there they go again. And we do the cycle again, right? Now the birds have flown, and we'll see once how long it takes for them to come back. So any more questions, stories, anything you'd like to share?
I have a question.
Yeah.
We've just moved, so we're in the process of putting up feeders in a new location. So are there tips about how to convince the birds? What about live
Yeah, give them the tempting food. You know, not a whole lot. Birds, if they're in an area, will usually figure it out as they're moving about. They'll see see the new feeders on the landscape. They have learned to recognize feeders, so they'll come to it. I have had circumstances where it's been weeks before I had my first birds to the feeder, but it all depends on how used to feeders they are. So if you're in an area that has feeders in other houses and things, probably not all that long. But what can you do to tempt them more? Give them the best food, give them some shelter, and give them some water. So food, water, shelter. From DeBrine's seed, of course. From DeBrine's seed is the best seed. You got it. You got it. The audience here is training me to make sure Caleb and Ken, that I mention DeBrine's seed whenever we're talking about seed. So, but yeah, I like the coarse sunflower seed here, which is the out of the hull, so it's just the sunflower heart. It's easier for them to get at the food, so then they tend to like that. Now your neighbors might not like you feeding that because that means that they'll get less birds. But yeah, put out some mealworms. Put out some mealworms. Yep. So yeah, oh, we got mourning doves dropping in. There's a cardinal left of 8. And now on number 8 is a cardinal and house finches and all the mourning doves on the ground here. Look at all the mourning doves. Rick can't fit them all in on his camera. Be real quiet. The mourning doves, they get scared real quickly. I'm surprised they often don't come in during Coffee with the Birds because of their wariness. They are hungry. Sometimes they put that in the balance, right? There's a woodpecker with them? Oh. There's more mourning doves coming in yet. Let's get a count before they take off. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There's 3 over here, 4 over here, plus those, plus 2 that flew off. And there's more flying in up here too. Oh, that's neat. Yeah, that we don't get to see every day. So the time that the mourning doves typically come in is early morning or later in the afternoon. So 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock, before the end of the day, that's their favorite time to come into the feeders. It's nice that they're coming in at, 10 o'clock? Just about 10 o'clock. But the birds are hungry. Last night I shoveled off the areas that they're feeding on, but I was going to feed them this morning. It was dark when I did that last night. I was going to feed them first thing when I come in this morning so that the snow wouldn't cover it all. And when I got in, I'm glad I didn't feed them last night because everything would have been covered by 4 or 5 more inches of snow. So I had to shovel again, then toss the seed out there. So they're hungry. They're hungry for sure. Yeah, we've gotten a lot of snow here. If anybody out there wants to mention how much snow you've got, we've got probably a foot of snow on the ground, it feels like, or close to it. Lots of snow.
What is the life expectancy of a mourning dove if everything is okay?
Life expectancy of a mourning dove, probably if they make it past their first year. So life expectancy is very low for all birds in the first few weeks to months of their life. But if they make it past their first year, probably 4 or 5 years.
Because mine are huge compared to this.
Oh yeah?
Huge.
Interesting. Yeah, yeah, small birds don't live long. Chickadees and nuthatches and things, probably 3 years, 4 years. And then you get larger birds tend to live a little longer. There's generally a correlation there. Downy woodpecker here again on 5. We've got some comments online here. Let's check in here. We got Riley. Riley's watching. She's a co-worker. She does our communication and newsletter.
He's on 1, and he flew. He just flew.
Oh, okay. Yes, that's what the nuthatches do. They come in, they grab and go. So, nuthatch came in and went on number 1. So, hi Riley. Thank you for joining us. I'm glad from your perspective that the live stream is going well. And Denise Porter here says, good morning from Tim and Denise in Kentwood. The sun has come out and it's a great day for birds. It's amazing how different the weather can be. On in Grand Rapids area versus here. Lots of doves and woodpeckers here. There go all the all the mourning doves. I'm not sure why the speaker isn't picking things up. I've got the speaker on, but it's not. Did you hear it? Okay. Just not picking up very much. I think it's dampened by the snow, but we have started using the sunflower heart seed from DeBrine's. More birds. There it is. Caleb and Ken. Can't say enough. You know what? I skipped ahead. The comments are coming in, so I go right back to the same spot and I start reading the next comment. So Denise says here, had 3 bluebirds a couple weeks ago for the first time by me. Oh, congrats on a yard bird for you. You're welcome, Jason. Thanks for your comment. You're welcome. He says, thanks for putting this on. And Lisa Camp here is the one saying, from Lisa and Martin Camp in Georgetown Township, we had a northern flicker this morning. Good sighting. They're pretty uncommon this time of the year. So that's great. At the suet feeder, yep. And we have started using the sunflower heart seed from DeBrine. More birds. So thank you for the tip there from the camps. And then, of course, Carl and Judy Manning say, we have had a red-breasted nuthatch daily and bluebirds at least weekly. Maybe we ought to do coffee with the birds at your house. How about that? Shall we do coffee with the birds at the Mannings? Yeah, they've got a nice feeder set up. They live on the north side of Holland there. There are not. You have them at your house? They're at Leslie's house, so go visit Leslie. Oh, nice, nice. Okay, ringneck in the winter is actually unusual. So when you live on the Grand River, which I know you do, you can get a lot of waterfowl. So we have the open water. Yep. When things get really cold, then the waterfowl concentrate in the open water areas. And so there's been a lot of reports of gadwall and things on the lower Grand River. But yeah, to get a ringneck duck in, sometimes they're mixed in with scaup and things, but they're unusual in the wintertime.
Goldeneye, but we have ringneck and gadwalls this week.
Redhead, ringneck, and gadwalls on the Grand River along Leonard Street on the north side there. Let's go on with the comments here. Red-breasted nuthatch, yep. Sarah Wood says, first morning coffee with the birds. This is so lovely. Thank you, Sarah. Very nice comment. Thank you for joining us. Glad you found us. Let us know how you found us. And Pam says, lately I've been enjoying pileated woodpeckers in the morning when I'm on my way to work. So don't get a chance for pictures. So she's in a hurry on her way to work, but sees the pileated woodpeckers. At your feeders, I take it, right? And Susan, we're getting lots of comments here all of a sudden. I'll turn it back over to you in a minute. Got 2 more here. I put out peanuts. Susan Stack is saying, I put out peanuts. My feeder attracts tan or gray creatures with 4 legs and bushy tails. What type of birds are these? Yes. I like your sense of humor, Susan. Yes. The bird feeders would not be the same without our little squirrels, right? So it's cold and very snowy, and sometimes, so the question is, why aren't they here? We don't have squirrels here. I saw 1 squirrel when I got in, but other than that, I haven't seen any. And why is that? They're probably sleeping in. When you get bad weather like this, they oftentimes will disappear and stay in their hideouts. So when it gets a little warmer and the snow stops, then they'll come back out. But cold weather and snowy weather like this, oftentimes they hide. So, and here we go. So one more comment here from Carl and Judy. We use DeBrine seed exclusively, and they've used it for the past 25 years. And they say, thanks, Ken and company. So 25 years of getting seed from DeBrine. That's a testimony to the good seed you can get from there and the good service. I will tell you, if you ever see Steve there or Caleb or whatever, they're just so helpful. They throw your seed in the car for you. Really helpful. Before I'm even done paying, like my car has got the seed in it and I'm ready to go. Just really enjoy doing business with them. So, any other questions, comments here while we're waiting for the birds to show back up? In the back, yeah.
We've been going there for 40 years, and their prices are so good compared to every other store.
Did you say 40 years? So we've got a comment, somebody in the audience, now you're going to know who that is, Ken and Caleb, I'm sure, has been coming to DeBrine. Sorry, Mannings, but you've been beat. 40 years. 40 years. What's your name? Terry Frazier is here and has been going to DeBrine's for 40 years. That's dedication, and that says something about the service and the seed that you get there. And good prices. Good prices. So if you're in the Zeeland area, that's where it is. Stop by. And you're in Holland, then you make the way over there, yeah. Oh yeah. Yep. It's worth it. I live in Georgetown, and that's where I get my seed too. So, yep. We got another thumbs up, us too over here. So,
where is Madcap Coffee located? So we can
Madcap Coffee. And I got an email that said these. I don't know if our staff is here yet that would be able to help us out with that. I think I'm going to just look it up here and tell you where their locations are or where you can buy it. So one of the places is in Grand Haven. I'm going to just look it up. Locations, here we go. It's sold at different locations. There are actual stores. There's one in Grand Rapids on Fulton Street. There's one in Grand Rapids on Monroe Center. There's one in Detroit if you're in Detroit. There's one in Leland. However, I thought it would have information on where you could buy it. One of the places that you can buy it, that they have it available.
Yeah, the sidebar.
The sidebar, that's it. The sidebar in Grand Haven, which is Oddside Ales as well. So at the sidebar in Grand Haven, if any, Grand Rapids Airport has it. They are based in Grand Rapids. Yes, and in fact, I didn't even know this, but my daughter is acquaintances with the daughter of the owner of this place. I found that out after the fact. Yes, Nuthatch. So yes, they are a local place, but I think you can find it at different stores around. I thought there would be a list on the web here of where you could pick it up, where you could buy it, but I don't see that. But if you are at Fishtown in Leland, there's a Madcap Coffee shop there. So I like Fishtown. I like to hang out there while I'm waiting for the boat to go to South Manitou Island.
That won't happen anymore.
It might get canceled.
The boat isn't going to South.
They're supposed to be changing the docking and everything, and so it's got to be stopped for a year, maybe two, and they say that's going to put them out of business. So don't plan on taking public transport to the island.
There's going to be backlash over that. So I'm getting information that you're not going to be able to take the ferry to South Manitou Island. So
It's the same ferry, though.
yeah.
This is really, his family is generations, yeah, his family runs the boat.
What's that?
South though,
Say that again.
North Manitou's been closed for the past couple of summers because of lack of dock access.
Okay, but South Manitou is.
South is accessible still.
I didn't know you were a part of that family.
His whole family, yeah.
Wow, it's been a family business for how many years?
Over 100 since 1917.
1917. So there's been this public ferry service to the Manitou Islands since 1917. It's still in the same family. I've ridden it since, I don't know, 1980 something.
I've seen your observations out there on eBird.
Have you? Okay. So just so you know, and your family, and we're talking about South Manitou Island, those of you online, it's my favorite place in the world. That's what I tell people. My dad took me there. I've taken all 3 of my kids there. Love it. It is my peace on earth there. So I appreciate your family's service to getting people out there. Yes, it's invaluable. So thank you for sharing that. I did not know. No, it's perfect. So yes, nuthatch is on 4. I finally got a nuthatch. There you go. And now on number 1 and gone. So gotta get my computer going here. The birds are slow in coming back here. Yeah, we got sparrows on the ground over here. Song sparrow. Is it only one that we've been seeing?
I think there are at least 2.
Okay. Okay. Goldfinches are back on the feeders over there, but the pine siskin is not back. I'm glad we got a view of that. Thank you, Jess, not Alex, right, Jess? Thank you, Alex, for speaking a little louder than Jess did. Oh. Any other questions, comments, stories? What do chickadees like the best? Black oil sunflower seed, or the coarse sunflower, which is the hearts. Sunflower seed in general, yes. That is their favorite seed. That is the favorite seed of most of the birds out here. You can see the number 9 feeder over here. That's the finch seed, and they will go to that, but they prefer, the finches, the goldfinches will go to that, but they really prefer the coarse sunflower seed. I get coarse sunflower seed because it doesn't fall out of the mesh feeder that I have as readily. You can get a medium sunflower seed, which is crushed a little bit more, and you can get a fine sunflower seed as well, which is even finer.
What kind of feeder is number 4? So I go to the store to buy it.
I don't know what the name is. It's a tube feeder, but it's just a wire mesh. So
Sometimes they call them peanut feeders.
Peanut feeder. Yeah, I try to get as small a gauge as I can on the wire, because then the seed doesn't fall out. I still do get some waste on the ground where they're just picking through it and it kind of tumbles out. So there is that fact, but they don't prefer to go to number 7 as much as they go to number 4, which has the same exact seed in it. And if you look over at the far feeders over there, the one on the far left is a similar style. It's a mesh feeder again, the one on the far left over there. And the goldfinches love it. So yeah, peanut feeders, wire feeder, I don't know. Maybe Ken and Caleb can chime in online there and tell us what is the proper name for that type of feeder. There we go.
They don't like to have to go through the bars of number 7 to get to their feed.
Right. And that one is kind of a squirrel-proof and larger bird-proof feeder than number 7. So cardinals and things can't get to it either, but it also will help to keep out like house sparrows or starlings, especially if you deal with those issues. But yeah, it's maybe a little bit more work to get into, and there's only a certain number of ports on that feeder as well. So when you can gather all together on one feeder and have like a dozen birds on one feeder, oh, there's the nuthatch. Thank you, Rick. Then it's preferred by the birds. So especially by the goldfinches. Oh, we've got a message from Oklahoma. And Laura in Oklahoma, whose mother is here, is saying they have 8 inches of snow. in Oklahoma. Wow. How are your little owls doing with the snow? They should be totally fine with it. So just so you know, they're a northern saw-whet owl, which you know very well. She studies northern saw-whet owl down there. So pretty cool. Let us know how many owls you're finding this season down there. Red-bellied woodpecker on number 5. Hopefully it'll come around to the front here. Now, where is my... I cannot find my cursor. Oh, there it is. There we go. And we've got Kelly joining us as well. Let me scroll down so I can read the... There we go. Kelly says, even though we have these birds at our feeders too, it is really amazing to see Rick's close-up imaging. It's great detail to illustrate bird colorations and observe feeding behaviors. So thank you. A thank you to Rick there from Kelly. So thank you for the comment. And Pam says agree with Kelly. So definitely your services are wonderful for a lot of people.
Curtis, I have a question about the downies.
Yes.
Rick just had one up that was digging out a hole in one of the trees. So I had one in a tree next to my driveway digging away recently, which I usually don't see in my yard. Are they just digging for food at this point, or are they starting to, is that when they start to like carve out a nesting spot, or?
It's probably a little early for the nesting, so it's probably just foraging. Yeah. So the question is watching woodpeckers digging into trees and wondering if it's just foraging behavior right now or if they're starting to excavate.
Yeah, hawk. He's way back. He just landed.
Out on the other side of the river?
This straight back this way.
On this side of the river, but at the back of the
You can't see
tree.
him.
Yeah, okay.
We saw his wings come in and land.
Red tail or Cooper's or you don't know? It's a hawk. So a hawk was sighted landing way far back from the feeders here. So there's 3 species that frequent the park here in the winter: red-tailed hawk, red-shouldered hawk, and Cooper's hawk. So we'll have to see.
All birds, that red belly, woodpecker, on number 4.
Yep. Oh, Laura is giving us numbers of only 4 saw-whet owls this past fall, but they all got radio transmitters. Awesome. So hopefully more information on their southernmost wintering range is on the way. So Oklahoma is the southernmost wintering range for northern saw-whet owl, and she's doing research on that, which is awesome. I'd love to hear updates on your research and what you're learning as you track those birds. Can you see the hawk?
I would say it's probably your red tail or your red shoulder.
Okay, pretty big.
Yeah, it was pretty big, but I can't see it now.
I don't see it anymore.
But it was on the spot overlooking the river. That's that far away.
I saw it like black and green.
Oh, there it goes. I see it flying now. Left to right, red tail. Yep, that is a red tail. Just flew across the river. I don't know if you all caught that. Rick, you didn't catch it. I'm disappointed. What all of you online can't see is that he had his binoculars and he was looking out the window trying to find where that hawk was so he could get his camera on it. And then it flew while he was standing up, so he didn't get it. I don't know, I'm second guessing this, you know. There we go, hairy woodpecker, look at that. That's a nice shot there. Nice close-up of a male hairy woodpecker with the red on the back of the head.
What is that wood hanging down thing for? Just for them to...
What the hairy is on? So,
Food in there other than...
the what's that?
You don't
Yeah. Yep. Yep. So that hole there is actually empty to the left of it, but there's more holes like that around it that I put suet in, smush suet into it. No, just each one of the little plug holes, I just push suet into it. So yeah, it's a natural surface for the woodpecker to hang on to, and you can see how he can grip it with his feet, and he can use his tail as a kickstand to kind of hold himself there. So it's a really comfortable spot. Tell me more about barred owls. Well, they come out at night. They are one of the more common nesting species. They're year-round here in Ottawa County and throughout the state. They start nesting typically February, March, something like that. The great horned owls are probably getting ready to get on nest really soon. They get on nest real early. They tend to like, so barred owls tend to like more forested areas and especially riparian areas along rivers, creeks, things like that. So you find them here in the park in the deeper areas. Great horned owl is more varied in its habitat, but they really like to forage in wide open spaces, fields and things like that. So you'll find them more in farm type country, but there's a lot of overlap too. They will eat rodents, but they also eat a lot of other things, including snakes and frogs and even fish and things. Like they have a varied diet. Barred owls do. So, yeah.
I have a question. We've seen like a bunch of eagles where they had their pick of ducks, and they tend to, the ones we've seen, at least recently, they've been getting mallards. So I'm wondering, is that something, like, seems to me the mallards are bigger, so they wouldn't pick the mallard if they had a choice, but it seems like they're, all the ones we've seen this winter have had mallards in their mallards.
Yep. Bald eagles will take whatever they can. So the question is about bald eagles. They have been witnessed taking mallards. Doesn't surprise me too much. During the winter in particular, bald eagles will take a variety of food. Not always just fish plucked from the water. They'll steal food from other people, or from other birds. Maybe people too, if you got a fish in your hand, right? They also will eat carrion, so dead deer and things roadside, and ducks. And I've actually seen them take out a gull before, so like a ring-billed gull. What they're probably doing though is picking out the weakest ones, the ones that are sick and not doing so well, and they're easy targets then. So mallard that's a nice shot, Rick. Just have to say, that's a nice shot. That is a heavy load for them to carry, but I'm sure that they only carry it a short distance before they eat it. So up onto the ice or up into a tree or something where they can start plucking feathers and eating it. But it doesn't surprise me too much. They are a larger duck, but they're pretty strong. They're pretty strong to carry them a little distance. Yeah.
But it wasn't the only one we've seen.
Gotcha.
It seemed odd that they would pick the bigger duck.
Yeah. Might be, if there's more ice on the water, then there's less space for them to go fishing too, so they're going to be more opportunistic. That's just a guess on my part. But, yeah. You had a question, Lynn.
Well, not so much a question, just a comment. But,
Sure.
3 winters ago, when we had the heavy ice on the water down at the state park, there was an area that had been bubbled around the marina,
Mm-hmm.
and there were thousands and thousands of water birds down there. And I went down several times and saw at least 20 eagles surrounding that area,
Mm-hmm.
on the ice, and they seemed to me like they were looking for a weaker
Mm-hmm.
bird, and they would circle, and then I saw one take a mallard, which
Got
shocked
it.
me, but I think it was
Yeah.
not
The-
well, and
Yep.
he flew it at a short distance over on the ice and went down with it,
all the other eagles. Yeah, yeah.
But yeah, it was quite something to do that.
So Lynn is telling a story about when there was a lot of ice on Lake Macatawa and the channel last year, that there's the bubblers around the docks of the marina. Probably, what is it? The one on the south side there, right? And so all the ducks were concentrating there, and the eagles, like 20 eagles or so, were surrounding that area. And you know, you bring up a good point that when the ducks get concentrated, it might be less energy taxing on an eagle to hunt the sick ducks, rather than if the ducks have all kinds of territory to go onto and they're not as concentrated. So they might be changing their diet based on availability and ease of catching things. They're trying to pick on, Lynn was saying that they were trying to pick out the sick one that wasn't looking as good. Came in, grabbed it, put it on the ice, and all the other eagles came in and tried to get their share of that duck. And it was a mallard, you said, right? Yeah, yeah.
Curtis,
Yes.
the guide we had in Costa Rica just joined online to watch.
Really? Wow.
His name was Dr. Cannon.
Dr. Cannon. Oh, I see that. Yes. Dr. Cannon, welcome. I see you online there. Thank you. He says, what a nice program. Kudos to you all from snowy Arkansas. Well, so where we are, we're in Michigan, up here in the and Arkansas probably got some snow too. And then Laura is down in Oklahoma, so in the Arkansas area. But thank you for joining us all the way from Costa Rica. Wow. That might be the furthest away that we've had somebody join our Coffee with the Birds. I hope you're enjoying seeing some birds that you don't get to see very often down there.
Be there in a month, I need a guide.
Yeah, Cindy in the audience here is saying she's going to be there in a month and needs a guide. So, all right. Paula's gonna connect her to you. So, excellent. Well, the mourning doves have come back, but never mind. So just as I said, the mourning doves had come back, they all flew. So they knew I said that. I said, no, we didn't. Oh, look at the nuthatches on one. There's 2 nuthatches frozen stiff on number 1. Oh, there they go. Now one is moving. I think they were just frightened by the mourning doves, and then they just froze still, thinking that maybe there was a hawk in the area. That's what birds will do if they think there's a hawk around. They'll freeze on the feeder sometimes, especially the nuthatches, chickadees, downy woodpeckers, because movement attracts attention from the predators. So it might be a false alarm. Just like I said, those mourning doves are so wary and just take off at the first sight of any disturbance. It is 10:26 already, which means I need to wrap this up because I'm going to be doing the birding tidbit here in a moment. And for those of you online, before I get off of, before we stop the live stream, I need to get you the link to the birding tidbits, because today the birding tidbits is going to be, I'm trying to open this up here, is going to be a video, okay? It's better to watch the video yourselves online rather than try to watch the video while I'm being live streamed. So I figured let's just have you watch the video, and I'm going to put the link in the comments here in just a moment, if I can find it here. There we go. It's about to premiere, so it will premiere in about 3 minutes, but I'll give you the link, and it'll take you to the site, and in 3 minutes you'll be able to watch the video. The video is, let me get it in the comments here. The video is the interviews that I did with all of the winners of the photo contest this year. So they're going to give insight into how they took their photos. And we've got the up on the screen there. Thank you, Rick, for getting that up there. And there's the link for the birding tidbit. We got a comment here. Thanks to Rick for an excellent presentation. And Pamela says, thank you, Curtis, Rick, and staff. Glad I could enjoy my morning with all of you and enjoy the birds and fellowship. Everyone stay safe and be blessed. Thank you for the nice comments at the end there, Pam. And we've got almost 40 people online right now. So we're about equal in here. We're about probably 35 or so in this room, and then we had 37 online. I don't know what our peak was, but that means an audience of over, of 70 plus. So, and there's more people in this spillover. So thank you everyone for joining online. Thank you for joining in the room here. We're going to be moving to the great room in a minute. Make sure to get coffee and donuts, refill, and if you've had one donut, please have more. I think we're going to have extras. There's not as big a crowd here today, but get some coffee and donuts. Thank you everybody online for joining us, and I hope to see you again really soon. Our next Coffee with the Birds is the 8th of February, and we plan to have the same setup then. So until then, I'll see you next month. Thank you for joining Coffee with the Birds. And Rick, are you going to leave the live stream on for a couple minutes? So Rick will leave the live stream on for a couple minutes so you can enjoy the birds. But I'm going to head out. So thank you so much.